Get You Some Radio.
But I see little kids in the, back of a grocery cart. Yeah. That's me. I want to make them smile. Because why? Because it makes me feel good. But when I sold cars I did it, usually the parents look around and see what's making the kids smile. And there'd be me.
Yeah.
So that was my meet and greet. Then I'd say, oh, that's a cute little girl. What's her name? Oh, Sally. And da-da-da-da-da. And then I'd say, by the way, I sell cars. Who do you know looking to buy a new used car? See, that takes nothing. I mean, come on. I always said, you don't get hate mail for being nice. You do that 15 times a day. Watch what happens in 30 days. Your attitude gets better. You love your job. And when those people come in, you got a higher close ratio, more fun, less stress, and you have more time off.
Now, your weekly dose of inspiration, perspiration, and just the right amount of bull defecation. The Get You Some Radio Show with your host, the Vice President of Making Shit Happen, Terry Lancaster.
Welcome to the Get You Some Radio Show. I am your host, Terry Lancaster. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I want to remind you, if you have not subscribed, be sure today to subscribe to the Get You Some Radio Show. All you got to do is text Terry, Terry, to 444-999. Go ahead and do that now. Operators are standing by. Call before midnight so you won't forget. Let me tell you about the guest we got on the show today. And I was interviewing a salesperson about a year ago, I put out it on Facebook. I said, who sells a lot of cars on social media? What percentage of cars are you selling on social media? And a guy emailed me back, and he said, I'm selling 80% of my cars to people on social media and people that I meet out in the real world. And I said, well, I'd love to talk to you on the Get You Some Radio Show, and we'll talk about how you do that. That guy was Joey Book. If you haven't seen Joey's interview, you need to go dig it up in the archives and listen to me talk to Joey Book about what he does over there in Arkansas and how he's selling a ton of cars. But one of the things he said to me when we were talking, he says, listen, my life changed the minute I talked to Fran Taylor. Fran Taylor changed my complete way of selling cars and the way I go about it. And Fran Taylor's my hero. And I'd heard of Fran Taylor. I knew what Fran was doing, but didn't know much about him. So from that point forward, and that's been almost a year and a half, I've been bugging Fran Taylor to death. Fran, come on to Get You Some Radio Show. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me how you're helping people sell all these cars. Finally, we've got it down today. Fran Taylor is going to talk about selling from the heart. We're going to talk about selling 30 cars a month, and we're going to talk about selling cars the old way, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, making more friends, and selling more cars. I'm back with Fran Taylor right after this.
Make more friends. Sell more cars. 97% of car shoppers say they would prefer to know their salesperson before they ever set foot in the dealership. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, and they refer their family and friends to people they know, like, and trust. Visit terrylancaster.org to learn how your sales staff can get more reviews, more referrals, and more repeat business by building better, stronger, more authentic relationships online and in real life. terrylancaster.org.
Fran, my brother, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm excited to have you.
Appreciate you having me. I hope I can help a lot of people.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to help more people. So tell me what you did for Joey Book that changed his life. How are you? What's Joey talking about when he says Fran Taylor changed his life?
Well, I give the credit to the owner because the owner kept calling me about prospecting because they're in my 30 sales a month group, and you see all these young kids making. When I say young kids, they're all young to me. Anyway, they're making $20,000-$25,000 a month, and he said, "You got to come down for prospecting." I said, okay. So I came there, and I remember Joey walking up to me and says, this stuff worked, only didn't quite say it that way. I said, only if you do it. And the first thing I started with him was my book and the goal setting. And in that goal setting, I told him, look, if you don't know what it takes to make you happy, how are you going to be happy? I said, do you want to work those long hours? I mean, he was forced to watch other trainers' tapes for 2 years. The first month he went from 17 to 30 cards. The second month he got to 40, and then he never looked back. And what I told him, I said, look, just become a master at everything. Steps to sales, prospecting. I said, learn how to get people coming to see you. And he was all over. What a great guy. And actually, we got a couple guys that are rock and rolling. Ken Sorrento,
Yeah.
I mean, he took 5 vacations last year. How could a 28-year-old young man go on 5 vacations? Well, they get it because hey, when you're coming to work, it's not just to make money, it's to go to enjoy life too. And man, they were in. And we got a couple guys there rock and rolling doing that. And that store went from 260 or something to I think 536 is their best. I can't take all the credit, but I can tell you I helped a lot of them. And we taught them to go out and look for customers on their own. And it's kind of funny because the more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah.
And the main thing is, you know, do you really want to work all those hours every week for the rest of your life? No. Okay, what are you going to do about it? I mean, you don't talk down to somebody, but you let them know, look, there is a better way if you do it. Now, I was lucky. It only took me 2 years to get to 50 cars a month. But I went and did the stuff everybody else didn't want to do. You know, when somebody says, oh, that's old school, does it really matter as long as it works?
Yeah.
Like you said, belly to belly. In my book, in my daily routine, it says go talk to 15 people a day outside the dealership. Well, I had to because we had 25 guys on the floor. I mean, I don't care what you call hustle or putting the time in means nothing if you don't get the results. So I went out every day talking to people. And it was kind of easy. I'd say, hello, how are you? They'd say, pretty good, and you? That's when I say, better if I could sell a car to. Who do you know looking to buy a car? Nobody. Well, I turned my business card over and say, well, I help make people's car payments and house payments because they send me customers. Could use a couple $100 a month. 33 years and never had anybody say no. So that's when you just start talking to them. And it's almost like cheating when you figure it out. I mean, 15 people a day is nothing. What is 450 people in a month? At a 3% close ratio, that puts you 13 cars for the month without taking it up, without a phone call, without nothing. And then I really got into the prospecting tools in a couple months. It took me to that. And the prospecting tools made me tons of money.
Yeah. Prospecting tools. What do you mean by prospecting tools? What's a prospecting tool?
Well, I went crazy with it. And I'm a kind of crazy guy, but if it makes sense to me, I'm going to do it. Like you go to a Chinese restaurant, you open up a fortune cookie, right?
Right.
Okay. It would say, save a fortune, buy a car from Fran Taylor. And I remember having matches made. And I had them in every gas station, every tobacco shop around. You open up the matches, it would say, strike a good deal, buy a car from Fran Taylor. I went to a guy, JoJo's Pizza, and I said, hey, could you use 2,000-3,000 extra customers a year? I said, yeah. I said, would you give him 10% discount? He said, yeah. What's in it for you? I told him I sell cars. I said, every time I sell a car from it, I'll give you $100. And I was allowed to put a little 4x4 box on his pizza boxes. I didn't buy the pizza boxes like other guys say. I mean, that's too expensive. I just bought a little square. It said, need a new car, see me, Fran Taylor, ABC Motors, the phone number. I didn't make a lot of money from that, but I'll tell you where I made my money. When the customers would come in for service, they'd come up and say, Fran, you got any more discounts on those pizzas? Oh, sure. How many you want? They said 2, I'd give them 4. They said 5, I'd give them 10. I didn't care.
Yeah.
And my last question would always be, by the way, who do you know looking to buy a new used car? I mean, if I had to do it again, got back in sales, I'd own any town in 30 days. I'd have my placemats in every restaurant that would allow me. I'd have beer coasters in every bar that would allow me. I mean, I just went crazy with it. And the more I did, the more money I made.
Yeah.
And I know you got to spend a little bit to make money, but you see, I lucked out one day. A guy came in with the matches, holding my matches. He said, where is this guy? I said, well, that's me. So I sold him a car. That's when it started to click. Wait a minute. If I have this many prospecting tools and I've sold this many, how much would I make if I had this? So I just kept adding to it, adding to it, adding to it. And after a while, they were crawling out of the woodwork. And I was only working 45 hours a week selling 50 cars.
Yeah.
I made up my mind right off the bat. I mean, there were some really cool guys there. They were making, 130, 150 grand, whatever. But they were there from ding to dong every day. That wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. So I was willing to go invest a little bit to make a lot. invest nothing, make nothing.
So I mean, what works better for you? The prospecting tools where you're bringing in customers, or the belly to belly tools where you're out shaking hands and kissing babies? Which one would you say was better for you?
None. They're both just as good.
They're both just as good.
Just think about it. I mean, what's it called? I mean, I just did a live show with our personal training, and the guy was saying that. And this is a guy that sold like 13 cars last 3 days of the month. He said, man, let the world know what you do. I mean, I do it today, and I mean, I haven't been selling cars for years, but I see little kids in the, back of a grocery cart. Yeah. That's me. I want to make them smile. Because why? Because it makes me feel good. And then, but when I sold cars that I did it, usually the parents look around and see what's making the kids smile. And there'd be me.
Yeah.
So that was my meet and greet. Then I'd say, oh, that's a cute little girl. What's her name? Oh, Sally. And da-da-da-da-da. And then I'd say, by the way, I sell cars. Who do you know looking to buy a new used car? See, that takes nothing. I mean, come on. I always said, you don't get hate mail for being nice. You do that 15 times a day. Watch what happens in 30 days. Your attitude gets better. You love your job. And when those people come in, you got a higher close ratio, more fun, less stress, and you have more time off. So you say, which works best? It's like the prospecting tools. I get asked that all the time. Which works best? You can't track prospecting tools. It's word of mouth. Right. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. You see, I was convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt right off the bat, the more people outside ready to buy than ever going to be here in our biggest sale. I understood that. So all I got to do is go talk to people. And the coolest thing about it, you don't know who you talk to. You get a chance to make $1,000 every day you talk to a customer.
Yeah.
I was in. Trust me. Turn me loose. I'll go. I'm in. Just get it to me. But I had to do my part.
Joey told me when I was interviewing him, he said the thing that really made me pay attention. He said, once you get used to selling cars this way, you'll never want to go back to chasing lot ups. So my question is, why don't more car salespeople sell this way? Why is everyone standing around 12, 14 hours a day waiting for a customer to walk in the door and then pouncing on him like he's pouncing on him like a rat on a snake on a rat? Why is everyone doing that instead of actually trying to build a business, trying to make more friends? This seems like a lot more fun.
Well, the sad fact is most of them aren't taught. Yeah. I mean, there's more to it than go join a big church or go to some big company. I mean, that's kindergarten training. You actually have to show them what works. Like, I'm the one that started the Sold by Stickers. That was me. I started that in 1982. I started magnets. If somebody had them before that, God bless them, I don't know. But I started all that stuff. But they're not taught. And that's a shame. I mean, most guys just talk about closing deals, phone techniques, or product knowledge or something like that. Well, what good's that if you don't have anybody to talk to?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a difference between living in the woods and visiting the woods. I went and did it. I talked to a young guy today, and he's going to join our private training. He said, we watch tapes, we go over some things, and then it's up to me. Well, gee whiz. I mean, that's, they don't give you a book when you go to school and give you a test. They teach what's in the book. I mean, it's like when I do training with the guys, I take them out prospecting. I say, point somebody out you think I'm afraid to say hello to. My biggest fear when I started was I was kind of shy.
Hey, Fran, I'm going to have to call you on that one, brother. I'm not sure I believe that.
Oh, I was. Trust me. I mean, I grew up in the mountains, brother, with no heat and water and all that stuff. My closest neighbor was a mile away. When we saw people in the woods hunting, we'd say, oh, that's a human. We go talk. When I got a job selling cars, I mean, it was like, okay, here they are, kid. But I'll tell you what got me over that. My first month, I sold them a month. My worst month was my first month. So I sold 23. I went from walking and no place to stay. I got a furnished apartment, drove a new Supra, went and bought new suits, and I had thousands of dollars in my pocket. You didn't have to convince me after that. And believe me when I tell you, that's from knowing nothing. And my boss, that's when he convinced me beyond a shadow of a doubt, Fran, just go talk to people. Get out there. See, once I got to taste a little bit of money, and to me it was more fun and freedom to go do that. And I didn't have a clue my first 6 months. I just knew I just talked to enough people. And I'm really not that talented, at least at that time. I didn't think I was. I was just nice to the world.
Yeah. Just being nice, making friends, selling more cars.
Well, it's like yesterday. I was in the hospital getting some cancer cut out of me, and the lady said, "What do you do?" I told her I used to sell cars, and we got to talking. And she said, "No one ever mailed me a birthday card. No one ever called me." She's driving Volvos, and she has money. She was the head nurse.
Yeah.
And she said, "What do you do?" So I told her all the things I did for the kids as well as the parents. Like, I mean, I'd call the kids up on their birthday.
Yeah.
And I'd call them up. I'd say, "Hi, Mr. Smith. It's Fran Taylor from ABC Motors. Can I talk to Billy?" "What?" "Yeah, it's his birthday." Okay. I'd get him on the phone. I'd talk to him a little bit, say, "Hey, da-da-da-da, happy birthday." And then I'd hang up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get the parents on the phone. I'd hang up. I can't tell you how many times parents would call back within a couple minutes and say, "Fran, that was really nice of you." And then my last question, of course, would always be, "Oh, by the way, who do you know looking to buy a new used car?" I mean, that phrase alone, whether you're talking on the phone or out, they'll make you a ton of money. All you got to do is ask, and they'll tell you quick.
Who do you know who's looking for a newer used car? Write that down.
Simple as that.
Go ahead.
The more you say it, the more money you make. I don't understand why people are bashful. And like you said, why don't people do it? I don't think a lot of them are taught anymore. Back when I sold cars, I mean, it was so much different then. Now the manager tied up in computers and Lord knows what all kinds of stuff. But my manager, for a week straight, he took me out prospecting.
Yeah.
And he hurt me bad right off the bat. He'd have me go up talking to people, and I didn't have no clue what to say. Then one day he said, "Now you want to learn how to do it?" I said, "What? Why didn't you tell me that right in front?" He said, "Well, now you know what not to do. Go ahead." And once you showed me little techniques, like you got to do a little meet and greet, you just can't walk up to somebody and say, "Who do you know looking to buy a new used car?" I mean, that's not going to work. So he perfected it with me, and he showed me. And the more you did it, the better I got, the more comfortable I did. And it's like me. When I was younger, I had no problem talking to the young ladies. It's the guys in the suit and tie.
Right.
But after a while, you do it enough and you go through the trial and error. After a while, you don't care because everybody you talk to might be a sale.
Yeah. Well, in my experience, I mean, not only do sales managers not take the salespeople out, the sales managers, a lot of times, the general managers, the dealer principals, they won't let the salespeople leave. They, here, your job is to sit at this desk and walk this lot. They won't let them go out and into the real world. They don't want them going out because they're afraid they're going to waste time. They're afraid they're going to go to the bar. They're afraid they're going to go to the movies. They're going to do anything but work. So not only do they not let them out, they prevent them from going out in the world and doing this kind of stuff.
I hear that a lot, but our manager used to do that. And he'd say, "Show me your leads." So the people that come back with leads, he kept going. Now the other guys that come back with donuts on their face and they're well rested, you stay here.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew who was working and who wasn't, And to be honest with you, it's like this. It's like, it's like a BDC center. I would give all the leads to the people who were doing the job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in the Super Bowl, you don't put your third string quarterback in. I give to the players, feed the big fish because they eat the little ones.
Yeah.
But, I hear that a lot. I hear people say, "Want to come to a workshop?" And the manager say, "We need floor coverage." Man, there's something wrong with that. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you can't let somebody go to improve themselves, something's wrong. But to me, man, go teach them. Go let them go.
Yeah.
I know a dealer one time, he'd give his managers $300 a month. Every other day, you take somebody out for lunch and tell them, "Hey, you're doing a good job. Oh, by the way, when you're out, get me a lead."
Yeah.
So you're going out, telling them, "Hey, nice job last month or this week or whatever. You watch me. I'm going to get a lead." Well, think about that. How can you not sell cars doing that? You're killing two birds with one stone. That guy now owns several dealerships.
Yeah, when I got started, all the salespeople had demo cars, and their job was to take somebody to lunch a couple times a week in the new car. You got a new car, go pick up your friends, take them to the restaurant, let them smell that nice new car smell and get a little itch.
Why not?
Yeah.
When you're going out to do that, everybody should have a name tag. Like when I go in, my first month, I had no money, absolutely none. So I'd go at least buy a coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would say to them, "Hey, you know my name?" And they'd look down at your name tag. After a while, they'll know your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For $20, come on, that name tag will make you a couple $1,000 a year if you wear it.
Yeah.
I went crazy with it. polo shirts and sweatshirts made. I mean, I didn't have no money when I started. I mean, I didn't have money to do all this stuff, but that didn't stop me from thinking. Mm-hmm. So I had shirts made, say, hey, need any used cars, see me, Fran Taylor, ABC Motors, the phone number. I remember at the gas station, the guy said, hey, you got any cheap trucks? Yeah. So that one prospecting tool won't make you a ton of money, but for that 15, 20 bucks you spend, and you wear that over time, watch how many thousands you make. See, to me, it was like taking candy from a baby. One prospecting tool, if I say I spend 200 bucks on it, over time, that's $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. Yeah. Okay. So if I had 10, how much is it going to give me? I mean, that's how easy it is to make 30 grand a month. Nowadays, you just have to have common sense. I mean, I did it. Like, people laughed when I had them Chinese cookies and say stuff like that. I mean, I just went bizarre. I mean, to me, it was having fun. The more you do it, the crazier it gets, the more people come see you because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what I'm all about. I mean, having fun. There's no use no use killing yourself 70, 80 hours a week to make a living if you don't have a life. You know, when I go into a dealership, a lot of times I ask the salespeople, all right, so everybody tell me what you do when you're not at the dealership, and 90% of the answer I get is, well, I go home, I drink a beer, I eat dinner, I play a couple of video games, and I go to bed. Most salespeople don't have a social life. They don't go out and interact with the salespeople, with customers out in the real world. They're bell to bell, and then they're home to bed.
See this hat?
Yeah.
American. I can do anything. I look at that stuff every day. And like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if I wanted to go to Mars, I'd find somebody who's good enough to help me. See, there's two kinds of ways to be successful: trial and error, or admit that somebody's smarter, go do what they do. So I was looking, I actually drove to another dealership where this one guy named Dave was selling 40 cars a month. I pretended I was buying a car from him. And I felt so bad, I bought him dinner afterwards. And we become real good friends. He ended up being a general manager at a Toyota store. But if you're not going to go looking for it, you're never going to find it. And to me, man, like I keep saying, it's like taking candy from a baby. Once you get this prospecting stuff working for you, people don't forget you. Think about it. I mean, you got a husband and wife and 3 kids getting in the refrigerator, 30, 40, 50 times a day? Well, take that times 250 customers or 500. If you think that's a big number, take that times 365 days. My name is seen millions of times a year for a couple of prospecting tools. Is that guaranteed? Yeah, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
So I did it.
So I keep hearing the Fran Taylor's devotees talking about the birthday box. Tell me about the birthday box.
Well, back then we didn't have the computers, but it really doesn't matter. Now they got computers that you can keep everybody's birthday in them. But, I put the whole family in. Actually, it's in the back of my book under delivery check sheet. When I deliver a car, I get the husband, the wife, and the kids. Now, you talk to the old pros, I know how to do it. I make a copy of the driver's license. Okay, that's better than nothing. However, if I got a husband and wife and 3 kids, that's 5 times a year I can contact those people and let them know, hey, I still sell cars. I'm here if you need me. Still love you. Yeah. Come on. We talk about building relationships. I don't think there is a customer for life deal. However, you can get a lot of customers coming back many, many times if you do the things they don't. How many people called you on your birthday and wish you a happy birthday?
My mama. That's it. My mama.
Well, I don't have too many people doing that, but think about it. That's the stuff that sets you apart. So whether you do cloud or whatever on the internet, one thing about a birthday box, it'll never get a virus and it won't get a disease and nobody can delete it.
Yeah.
So it's the old school way. It really doesn't matter, though, as long as you do it. Think about it. You get 2,000 names in your birthday system. People think that's a lot. That's not. That's 6 letters a day. What's up with that? So to me, man, I just went crazy with it. I did. And same way with holiday cards. In December, I'd be the first one to send, and I send holiday cards because, you don't hurt anybody's feelings with a different religion. Everybody has a holiday, so I just send holiday cards. And my best month was January. We had a foot of snow in the ground. I was on 53. So in January, I would call them up. Say, hey, this is Fran Taylor. Did you get my holiday card? Oh, yeah, Fran. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And my last question would always be, by the way, who do you know looking to buy a new car? The closest guy to me did 17 cards, and I whipped out 53. To me, it was like, hey, you're sitting there all day anyway. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to go work. I want to make some money because I wanted the real estate. I wanted the racehorse. I wanted to fly around the world hunting, fishing. That's why I came to work. And I got it all. Everyone I wrote down, I got.
All right. Tell me about you got the workshop coming up this month, a couple of weeks in Cherokee, North Carolina. Tell me what you got going on there and how people can get involved with that.
Well, when I only do a couple workshops a year, and I've been so blessed, I have a lot of people around the country making $25,000 a month, some more. And what's different about that is the speakers I have all went through my class, and they're all selling, 30, 40 cars a month. And it's like the one guy, he was selling 14 cars when I met him. And I think he did, I don't know, but I know he's done 40 cars a month. And he's going to share with you, hey, look, this is what I used to do after 7 years in the business. In fact, he said today that training changed his life because he knew how to sell cars, but he didn't have enough people. So we showed him how to get to people. So what a great guy. His name is Dave Clayton. Love that guy. So he's going to be one of my speakers. I got another guy from Lumberton. He's a preacher. He was selling 8 cars when I met him. 8 cars.
Yeah.
We got into 30 cars a month. Then he bought a couple of real estate properties, and he just bought a used car lot. And I'll never forget it. I went to his church Wednesday night, and we came back, and I said, Adam, what good is it to pray to God for something to get the answer and don't do nothing about it?
Yeah.
He came back the very next day and said, my wife and I prayed. Tell me what to do. So I told him, man, this guy just took off. So, they're not professional speakers, but that's what keeps it real, because if you hear enough of the good stuff over and over, they'll take off. And every time I do a workshop, somebody jumps up and sells 30 cars a month. That's the stuff you're talking about. They don't get the training for the most part. Like prospecting is a dying art.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's all internet. No, it's part of it. But when you show them a whole bunch of different things that they never saw before, somebody's going to get something out of it. And we have a meeting the night before from 7 to 10 that you can sit down and talk to them. And that's the cool thing about it. And we didn't do that until the last couple of years. And I pay for the food and everything else. I pay for everything. Just got to get there. And like breakfast, I give them a hot buffet breakfast, hot buffet lunch. I want to take care of them. By the way, if anybody wants to get in that group I talked about, we get free information like this all the way. It's 30salesamonth.com if they want to go to the workshop. And then, by the way, if a couple guys are out of town, I bought a block of rooms. I try and be nice. I have 7 rooms left. And if they want to throw in a free room, I really want to help people. And, some of these young kids that just can't get there, and I feel so bad. I don't know what to do. I do what I can. I can't get everybody there. Yeah.
You do what you can, but that's September 18th in Cherokee, North Carolina. If you haven't been to Cherokee, North Carolina in the fall, you are in for a treat. It is a beautiful place over there. So and you're gonna learn how to sell more cars. So I'm excited to get there and find out more about it and do everything. So Fran, I'm gonna leave you with one question. Everyone that comes on the Get You Some radio show, I ask one question because people talk about this stuff all day long, and people watch all kinds of videos, and everyone's got ideas. But ideas don't sell any cars. It's the doing that makes stuff happen. It's action that gets stuff in. So I ask every guest on the show, I need you to give me one action step, one thing that a person watching the show today can do today to start making their life better, to start selling more cars or whatever it is they're selling, because we got some people on the show who aren't necessarily car salespeople. But one thing that they can do, if you had to narrow everything you teach people down to one thing to go do this today and see what happens, what would you tell folks?
That's real easy. Do these 11 goals in my book.
Yeah.
You do the 11 goals in the book, what happens, I have a prospecting calendar. Every time you get paid, put a little bit of money in each account. Like I said, I started a racehorse account with $25, and everybody laughed at me. Nobody laughed when I left because I had 7 of them racing at one time that cost $3,000 a month each. It's like a glass of water. You can't see the water evaporating, but it's evaporating. So my big thing is, hey, when you do the 11 goals and you put a little money in each account, watch what happens in a couple of months. All them little ones go away. Next thing, you start thinking big. You start thinking, hey, I can do anything. And now you start to invest in yourself. I mean, it's there. That stuff changed my life, and all the rest will fall into place. Like you doing the steps to sales better, phone calls, mailers. It'll all come with you. But like I said in the beginning, if you don't know where you're going, you're lost. Everybody teaches about write down goals, but who shows you how to get them? That book shows you how to get them. I guarantee it.
So the book is Selling from the Heart. It's available at frantaylor.net, yeah?
Yeah.
So Fran Taylor, and the 11 goals, or you picked your 11 goals, things that you're shooting for?
Well, if you're married and you have a spouse, have the wife write down something too.
Yeah.
Like it's in the Bible, the two shall become one. Well, that's not just sex. So
yeah,
she may write down, put addition on the house on the beach, whatever. Now you're working together. You're coming together. You're doing that. She becomes your biggest fan because she sees it's working. So she don't mind you taking $100, $200 out of your bank account. That's when it's really awesome, especially when you go on that vacation you've never been on and some of the other stuff. And when you're at work, when you do this stuff, you won't have to be told to make phone calls, to do other stuff. You'll want to do it. Those 11 goals will change your life like it did mine.
All right, brother. Set your goals, do your work. Fran Taylor, frantaylor.net. I will see you in North Carolina. I'll see everyone else next time. Thank you for being on the show, brother.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right.
Get You Some Radio. You've been listening to the Get You Some Radio Show. Subscribe today at terrylancaster.tv to hear more episodes, win valuable cash and prizes, and get free training to help you create an army of buyers who know, like, and trust you before they've ever even met you. It's a big, wide world, boys and girls. Get out there and get you some.